Hello, welcome to Soul Power Yoga. I'm Kayla. Happy New Year, and I'm happy to be back. I hope that you have been working on your manifestation process. I'm going to share some little pieces of key information about manifesting what you want, the way to go about attaining your dreams, your goals, and all while working on some poses today that will strengthen your core, your arms, and also encourage you to think about the things that you want this year. And we will also get into some spinal twists. So to begin, let's close the eyes, sit up nice and tall, and start to notice your breath. Breathe in and out of the nose. Maybe bring your hand to your belly, a hand to your heart. And just count 10 breaths. This helps you stay on track, helps you stay focused on the present moment, and it helps you to be in your body fully. Just listen to the sound of your breath as you breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Notice the way it feels to breathe in through the nose, and the quality of your breath in your body. Locate where there might be tightness in your chest or in your abdomen, and where you can find spaciousness, places where your body seems to be relaxed. After those 10 breaths, blink your eyes open, release the hands, and stretch over to one side just for a couple deep breaths. Stretch through the whole length of the left side or the right side of the body. It doesn't matter which way you start, what side you start on. Breathe into the belly as you stretch. And feel into the ribs. And come up and over to the other side. Try to keep both of your legs down to the ground. And the sit bones. Reach through the right or the left arm. And relax the head and neck. We'll come up to a seated position, lift the chest, and then reach the legs out in front of you for staff pose. Flex your feet, and then stretch out the toes, wiggle your toes, point and flex. Shake out the legs, and on the inhale, sweep the arms out in front and up overhead. On your exhale, forward fold. And start with a little bend in your knees, just in the beginning. Keep a nice long spine. And then once you get down there, you can relax your feet and your legs and just allow yourself to sink into the pose, into the stretch. Relax the neck, the head. Breathe. And then send your inhales into the back of your rib cage and your back body. And bring to mind what it is that you want. This is the first step of a manifestation process that I'm learning about currently.
So step one is to determine what you want. Let's take a couple more breaths in this forward fold. See if you can bring your forearms down to the ground and maybe wrap your hands behind your feet or maybe behind your calves. And on your inhale, move with your body and your breath. Lift your chest and head on the inhale.
Shake out the legs. And then bring the feet to the ground. We're going to come into boat pose. So just do whatever modification works best for you. I'll show you different options. First is to just simply lean back and then hug your knees up towards your chest. Point or flex your feet and hover them above the ground. You can keep your hands here or maybe behind your hamstrings, behind your legs. And you can start here and hug your core in, lift the belly button up towards the chest and in towards the spine. Have a soft gaze out in front of you. Relax your mind. If you want to go a little deeper, you can start to straighten your legs out. Maybe even release your hands and reach your arms out in front. Just continue to think about hugging your core towards your thighs and your quads towards your chest. Keep breathing, and let's hold for one more breath in through the nose together. And on the exhale, release the feet down. Great. Stretch out and wiggle the legs, shake them out. So I like to do that just to release any tension that was built up from the pose. So you don't want to hold any more tension in the body. We're just working on releasing that tension from the body while building strength and flexibility. So this next one, we're going to come into a side plank. And feel free to do a little twist here. It just felt right. And then we'll come on to hands and knees in tabletop. Let's go through a few cat-cows before we get into side plank. So inhale, lift the tailbone, drop your belly, pull your chest through, lift your chin, and your gaze goes up to the sky. And on your exhale, initiate that movement and go into cow pose or cat pose, because it's like a scared cat. Inhale, lift up, come into cow. And slowly move through to cat. Let's come on to the heels and lift the chest. Okay, so this is part 2 before we get into the side plank. Part 2 of manifesting is to visualize it. So now that you've determined what you want, go into the visualization of that. What does it look like? What does it feel like? And what you can do after this practice today is to actually maybe create a collage, cut out some pictures of what you want and put it on a canvas, or get some paint out and paint your vision. Whatever it is that you can do to create a visual of what it is that you want to manifest. Okay, let's come on to hands and knees. Tuck the toes under, lift up the knees, and come into plank pose to start. And then roll over onto the outer edge of your right foot, the inner edge of the left. You can stay here and keep lifting up your hips, or take your hand to the top of your left hip here. Straight right arm. And slowly start to take your gaze up over your top left shoulder. So you can stay here, or you can bring your left foot out in front for a modification. Or if you want to go a little bit more for a challenge, lift your left leg up and hover it above your right leg.
So start to visualize the things that you want to manifest. Recognize that, sure, some things maybe are challenging, but you can do it. Let's hold for one more breath. Push up and away. Woo! And then we'll come out of it. If you need to come onto your knees, you can do that and take a break for a second. And then we'll shift our weight over to the left this time. Reach the right arm to the hip or up above. Find your version of this plank pose, this side plank. Let's take a couple more deep breaths here. Lift up a little higher before reaching your hand down. Come back into plank. Take the knees down and extend your hips back to your heels. Reach your arms out in front for a child's pose. Let's take a few deep breaths here. Close your eyes. Start to imagine what that vision of what it is that you want looks like. And how you want to bring that more into the physical form through pictures, collages, drawing, painting. Okay, let's come up onto hands and knees. And I'm going to show you this technique for the proper forearm setup for dolphin pose. So come down onto the elbows and the forearms, and then grab a hold of your elbows, just like this. And this shows you the distance between your arms, where they should be for dolphin pose. And then when you are here, release your hands. Keep the elbows planted where they are, and then press your hands down into the ground. Spread your fingers wide. Okay, so now we're going to go into dolphin pose from there. So check your distance. Perfect. And then tuck the toes under, lift the hips up high for dolphin pose. Relax the neck and the head. Look down in between towards your feet. And then press up and away from the ground. Make sure you're not collapsing in your shoulders, but that you're pushing up and away. And you're really using your muscles in the arms and the shoulders to elevate the head. And then relax the neck. You can walk your feet in closer and maybe extend one leg up high and the other. So you can see how this is a beginning stage of practicing handstands, headstands, forearm stands. Hug the core in and see if you can get your hips to line up over and towards your shoulders. So after you play around with that a little bit and you feel your shoulders are nice and warm, and they've been worked, and your core has been worked, and you've stretched into the hamstrings enough. You've settled in to the pose with your breath. Then you can come down onto your knees and take your version of child's pose. Maybe that's wide-legged child's pose with the arms out in front, or maybe you bring your feet, your legs together, zip them up close, take the belly down onto your legs, and extend your arms down by your sides. Take a few deep breaths in child's pose. On your next inhale, lift your chest and your head. Move with your breath. Take your feet out to the side. And we're going to meet on the ground onto our backs. Reach your hands down to the ground and towards your feet. Press into your heels and then lift your hips up for bridge pose. Tuck the chin to your chest. Hug the inner thighs toward one another and squeeze your glutes and lift your hips up a little bit higher to the ceiling. Look down towards your rib cage. Maybe even take your hands on your ribs and then breathe in. Lift up the rib cage. Breathe into the space on your inhale and then release, contract on the exhale. Keep the breath up here rather than down into the belly. Let's take one more breath together. And on the exhale, lower down. When you reach the ground, take your knees side to side. Don't let the breath stop moving. Stay connected to your breath without pausing. And feel your inner being. Feel the breath moving in through the nostrils and out. Pause in the middle, hug your knees up into your chest. Reach your arms in between your legs and then around to grab for the outer edges of your feet. Press your heels up for happy baby. Tailbone is long and down towards the ground. And then let the knees go heavy up towards the armpits. Have a calm mind. And feel the aliveness of your body. The beat of your heart. And the sound of your breath. Slowly bring the legs together. Extend your left leg down straight. We're moving slowly as we come to a close in the practice. Take your left knee across your body for a twist. Reach your right arm over and let the gaze follow your right hand. Deep spinal twist here. What makes it a full twist is this feeling of a spinal twist that begins at the tailbone, comes up all the way through the thoracic, the lumbar, the thoracic, and the cervical spine, all the way to the base of the skull. So when you can get your chin to reach towards and over your right shoulder, and to have this hip and the knee down towards the ground, you'll get to experience that full spinal twist. On your next inhale, initiate your movement with your breath. Slowly move back to center. Bring the left knee in and then switch sides. So extend your right leg, hug your left knee in and take it across the body. Twist to the left. And now I'll share part 3 of the manifestation process. This part is very important, and I think that this is the part that people will get really stuck on. This is where the obstacles are at, and this is a key to why we do have obstacles and blocks to what it is that we want. And that is that we tend to focus on the things we don't want. And you know what that does? It prevents us from getting what we do want. Because as long as we have opposing thoughts, differing beliefs, contradictions held within our energy field, mental and emotional body, we cannot manifest the thing that we want. So step 3 is to focus only on what it is that you want. And something you can practice today, let's slowly come out of here. And then we will extend the legs down, shake out the legs. I'm going to give you a few options for how to end today's practice. And I'll also finish up what I was saying about step 3 of manifestation. So you can end here in corpse pose, traditional corpse, or you can come into reclined butterfly, bring the soles of the feet together. And then the last option is to come into constructive rest. So heel toe the feet out wide, let your knees fall in toward one another and rest there. In all of these options, you can place your hand on your belly and your heart, or open up the arms, whatever feels best for your energy levels right now or your intention. Sometimes if you have your hand on your belly and your heart, it helps to focus your attention in your body. So if you're having a hard time with that right now, I would suggest making that connection, putting your hand on your chest and on your belly. Once you're there, close your eyes, whatever you choose to finish out your practice, and I will share that last third step. So it's to focus on exactly what you want and not give any energy to the things that you don't want. So the exercise is to ask yourself throughout the day, continuously, if what I am thinking and doing is helping me get what I want. Right? So whenever you have a thought or whenever you are engaging in an action, something that you're doing, just ask yourself first, or even during, is this supporting what I want? And if the answer is yes, then great. Keep on thinking those thoughts and keep on doing those things, engaging with those actions. And if the answer is no, then of course that's the time to pivot and let go of those thoughts and stop giving energy to them and not engage with that activity or that doing. And with these 3 steps, it almost seems like it's a very simple, easy thing. But talking about it is one thing, putting it into action is another. Okay, let's take a deep breath in through the nose together and sigh it out on the exhale. Thank you for being here today with me. And I wish you the best of luck on your manifestation process. I'll see you next time. Namaste.